Take out a sheet of paper and divide it into two columns. On one side, please write the word and part of speech. On the other side, please write the definition and any helpful examples. Please pause the video at any time if you feel that I am going too fast.
The first word is synergistic. Synergistic is an adjective describing that which works together so that the total effect is actually greater than the sum of the two or more. For example, many electronic devices now have the ability to be incorporated each to the other and be fully synergistic. Loquacious. Loquacious is an adjective referring to an individual who tends to talk a great deal, one who is talkative. For example, since the employees knew their manager was in a loquacious mood, they predicted the meeting would be a long one. Endemic. Endemic is an adjective referring to that which is native or restricted to a certain country or area. Usually when using the word endemic, we refer to plants or animals. For example, as we hiked through the rainforest, we saw endemic creatures we could not have observed anywhere else on the planet. Minute. Minute is an adjective describing that which is very small, or something that's marked by close attention to details. And yes, while minute is spelled the same as minute, they are very different words. For example, she examined the contract's minute details in order to avoid agreeing to a hidden clause. Prominence. Prominence is a noun referring to the state of being important or famous. For example, due to media coverage, the commission gave the case a prominence which it might otherwise have escaped. Enterprise. Enterprise is a noun referring to a project or an undertaking, and usually in reference to a project or undertaking that is typically one that is difficult or requires effort to be accomplished. For instance, the study was a joint enterprise between French and Japanese companies. Methodology. Methodology is a noun referring to a system of methods used in a particular area of study or some particular activity. For example, her courses in research methodology and practice helped her to stay organized in the field. Veracity. Veracity is a noun referring to the conformity to facts, or veracity can refer to accuracy, truth. If you think about the Latin root word ver, meaning truth, veracity is a conformity to that truth. For example, as the details continuously changed, officials expressed doubts concerning the veracity of the story. Garnered. Garnered is a verb referring to the action to gather or collect something, especially when that something is information or some type of approval from someone else. For example, the police struggled to garner sufficient evidence to convict the suspect. One-upmanship. One-upmanship is a noun referring to the technique or practice of gaining a feeling of superiority over another person. Those who boast or brag in response to a display of skill or talent from someone else often try to one-up that individual and thus are showing one-upmanship. For example, one-upmanship permeated throughout the locker room as the boys prepared to take on their crosstown rivals. Unabashed. Unabashed is an adjective referring to one who is not embarrassed, disconcerted, or ashamed. You can easily connect the word bashful to unabashed. Similar idea of being embarrassed. For instance, he was unabashed about his love for show tunes and often sang them loudly. Skirmishing. Skirmish is a verb that describes the act of irregular or unpremeditated fighting, especially when that fighting is between small or outlying parts of armies or fleets. For instance, the peace activists were disheartened by the reports of skirmishing along the border. Rarefied. Rarefied is an adjective describing that or an individual that is distant from the lives and concerns of ordinary people. For example, debates about the nature of knowledge can seem very rarefied as it does not concern most people. Construe. Construe is a verb describing the action to interpret either a word or an action in some particular way. For example, his words could hardly be construed as an apology. Meditation. Meditation is a noun that can sometimes refer to a thoughtful reflection, which sometimes can be written. For instance, the poem Desiderata is a meditation on how to live a fulfilling life.